everyone, Lucamus Prime here. So, it's time for a start of a brand new series of videos where, after I've covered lots of films which in my opinion did not need sequels, I also think it's also a good idea to talk about video games which in my opinion did not need sequels. And I thought I'd kick off this series by talking about what is probably, in my opinion, the #1 biggest example I can say of a game that did not need a sequel, and in my opinion was much better on its own as a standalone video game. This game, in my opinion, is the best standalone game made by the company which made it, and this, of course, was before I lost respect for that company due to, of course, that game's sequel. And I've already posted a review for this game, and I've also, as well, did a video on why I think the old games by the company are better than new ones. And this game, which in my opinion did not need a sequel, the #1 biggest example I can say is none other than 2013's The Last of Us. So, you guys are probably going to, of course, be asking me, what are my thoughts on this game then? So, I first played this game on PS4 in December 2022, after I, of course, got a PS4 for the first time in October. And when I played this game remastered on PS4, in my opinion, it's an absolute masterpiece from start to finish. In my opinion, one of the greatest games ever made. And if I had to respect the Naughty Dog who made the game, I would say it's, in my opinion, their best game they've made. And is, in my opinion, the best standalone game on its own. Because I like to pretend it's on its own, in my opinion. To me, it's a standalone game. So, I definitely really love the game. I think it's an absolute masterpiece with great performances from Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson, who play, of course, Joel and Ellie, who have, in my opinion, chemistry which is off the charts. Just incredible acting from both of them. In my opinion, their best performances in their careers. So, on the topic of why I personally think this game did not need sequels then, I personally think the game ended perfectly on its own, to be honest, because the game has an absolutely epic ending where Joel, of course, rescues Ellie from surgeons who are about to perform an operation on her which would kill her, but of course save everyone from the infection because Ellie is, of course, immune to it, and they have to remove the infected portion of her brain, which would unfortunately kill her. So Joel battles his way to the operating room and he kills the surgeons and he saves Ellie. So that scene, in my opinion, was probably one of the best finales in video game history. Like, you can feel Joel's urge to rescue Ellie in that when you're playing as him, and it made him an absolute badass. I just really love that. And the game also has a conversation as well with Marlene, who Joel shoots and kills to stop the firefighters from pursuing them. And then after that, of course, when of course Joel and Ellie escapes out of his brother Tommy's settlement, Ellie expresses her survivor guilt because Joel lies to saying that the firefighters have found other immune people but couldn't create a cure and they stopped trying. And then as well, at Ellie's insistence, Joel swears his story about firefighters is true. So on that ending, of course, they go to Tommy's settlement and they've survived. So right there, I did not see any signs of sequel baiting whatsoever at all, no setups at all, and I think the game ended perfectly just there. So, as far as I am concerned, The Last of Us truly ended as one game alone. But, unfortunately, despite this great ending, we sadly got a sequel released, 7 years later? And when it comes to a sequel then, because of how much, of course, I love this game, because I watched its cutscenes as a movie on YouTube, and it was one of my favourite games, which I've not played yet, I was hoping the sequel would be good too. But, unfortunately, for myself and lots of fans of the original game, I was proven to be painfully wrong. Because that sequel, of course, was none other than 2020's The Last of Us Part 2. So, this game, of course, was released as a PS4 exclusive in 2020. And when this game was being made, leaks for it got released. And when I saw the leaks, I was really appalled by what the direction the game had gone in. And I was thinking, please don't let these leaks be true, please. And I first found out about them from Tyrone Magnus when he did a video talking about he'd read them. And he was really angry about it. And I don't blame him in the slightest. I couldn't agree more with him on that. And speaking of Tyrone as well, I think it's also, in my opinion, very disgusting how people were attacking him for his opinion on the leaks. Like, what people seem to forget is, he said he would not play the game if the leaks were true. So he was still going to make sure the leaks were true first before he'd consider not playing the game. But guess what? The leaks were true. Now, one thing that this game does, which in my opinion is probably one of the worst things a video game has ever done is how it gives probably what is, in my opinion, the worst cliche of all time, being the Alien 3 cliche, which, if you didn't know, is a cliche that originated from Alien 3, in which beloved characters are killed off at the start of a film. And in this case, with this game, it's Joel. Now, as somebody who cares so much about Joel, he's my favourite character in the franchise, and easily my favourite wall of all time from Troy Baker, I was absolutely heartbroken by what this game did to Joel, because at the start of the game, Joel is beaten to a pulp by a character called Abby, and she finishes him off using a golf club. Like, that is just, in my opinion, one of the dumbest decisions a game has ever made. And people are out defending it. Like, hang on a second. You're telling me that this absolute badass from this game, who went through so much and battled his way through a hospital full of mercenaries to save Ellie and be infected, dies from a golf club? Like, are you seriously going to defend that crap? Oh my god. Like, that, in my opinion, is just horrible. How you portray a character, bringing them back to kill them off. That's just, in my opinion, pathetic. And I've seen many gamers as well who stopped playing the game because of that death scene, and I don't blame them in the slightest, because if I played the game, which I'm never going to do, I would have turned it off when Joel died. I'd have rage quit out of pure anger. That's my favourite character. I mean, Tyrone Magner said he would turn off at that scene, because I've got a feeling he was definitely talking about that scene when he said if the leaks are true about what happens to a certain character, that he was talking about Joel, because he even as well said on his video that he cared about characters, especially Joel, just like me. And not only that, but it also, in my opinion, ruined Ellie, because I've seen clips of her from the game, from reviews that I've seen for it, so I am aware of what happens, guys. And in my opinion, the game made her really unlikable and annoying. Like, why is it that my favourite female video game character in this game becomes so unlikable in the sequel? Like, goodness me. Like, I felt so bad for Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson in this sequel, I really do. And Abby, in my opinion, is also a terrible villain as well. Now, what I will say is that Laura Bailey is still one of her voice actors of all time, and I do not condone the attacks on her for her character, because none of this is her fault. It's the direction she was given. The direction, in my opinion, was absolutely horrible, but I do not blame Laura in the slightest, because she's only doing her job. So if you want to be angry at somebody, then be angry at the directors, not her, because I'm really angry with the director, because she didn't deserve any of these attacks at all, and I feel so bad for her, because she's one of her voice actresses, and she didn't deserve it at all. But Abby, in my opinion, is a terrible villain, mainly because she killed Joel, and she's just, in my opinion, annoying. And one of the worst things about Abby, when we're talking about, of course, with Ellie as well, is that Ellie doesn't even get her revenge on Abby. She doesn't kill her for killing Joel. So basically, she doesn't avenge Joel's death whatsoever. So right there, that was just, in my opinion, and terrible. Like, I really hate it when games don't allow you to get revenge on the villain after what they do to a beloved character, and this game is definitely one of them. Like, that, in my opinion, was a stupid move. What's also so dumb is, you've also got to play as Abby in the game. Like, do you really expect me to play as the character who's killed my favourite character? Oh, get stuffed. And not only that as well, but also as well, the story, in my opinion, as a whole, is just appalling. Because compared to the absolutely memorable story in this game, the story in the sequel is just god-awful in comparison. Like, what happened? So I just really think it's terrible what's become of this franchise. And not to mention, as well, in terms of the future of the franchise, they've also remade this game for PlayStation 5. And in my opinion, it sucks, because it's not even a remake to begin with. It's simply just a very bad remaster, in my opinion. And also, though, I would also say that, in my opinion, the worst version of this game is a PC version as well, because of the horrendous glitches. And it makes me appreciate this version of the game on PS4 and PS3 way more, because those graphics, in my opinion, have aged beautifully compared to the PC one. I can't believe that. And in addition to that as well, of course, there's also been talks of a third game being made, rumours of that, but I am not going to play that, no chance. I already, of course, refuse to play a second game, because I know what happens in it from the clips I've seen, and I'm not going to waste a single second of my time playing it at all. And the same applies for this third game if it even happens. You might also be asking me, will I be watching the TV series as well? My answer to that is no chance. Like, hell no, I'm ever going to watch that. Not at all. Because I've also seen clips of that show, thanks to reviews I've seen for it, and it looks like a complete waste of time. Also, my favourite YouTuber, Empire Productions, he also watched, like, the first 3 episodes of it. I don't know if he watched the entire thing or not, but he told me in one of my streams that he does not like the show, and rightfully so. I don't blame him in the slightest for disliking it. from what I've heard about it, it's just terrible. And I also asked him, why should I watch the show? And he said to me, there's no reason why I should watch it. Exactly. So, I'm not going to waste a single second of my time playing The Last of Us sequel, and I'm not going to watch a show. Oh, no chance. I'll stick to the one and only masterpiece video game of this franchise. This franchise, to me, is only the one video game. And in the not too distant future, I also plan to watch the fan films that Empire Productions was involved in as well. I'm going to watch those because I've heard really great things about those. And apparently, the makers of that fan film also did not allow a second game, so they made their own sequel to their fan film and tried to make it better. And I have no doubt in my mind it will be better than the second game because fan films, of course, are made for fans. And based on what I've heard of these fan films, they definitely show that. So, in my opinion, guys, The Last of Us is probably the biggest example I can say of a game that did not need sequels. So, like, screw Neil Druckmann all the way. He has no respect from me. And screw Naughty Dog. Because, in my opinion, they're a horrible company. They once made great games like this game on Uncharted and Crash Bandicoot. But now, in my opinion, they're a terrible company. And I hope they shut down. It's what we deserve. So, long story short, guys, there can only be one The Last of Us game. Just one alone. Only one to me. So, this is me covering why, in my opinion, The Last of Us did not need sequels. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to tell us in the comments what you guys think about The Last of Us. Do you think you needed sequels or not? The only thing in the comments below if you play the game. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe in this coming future. And I'll see you all later.